All right, welcome. This is SQL Database Design Programming. This is the introduction video that goes over the class, some of the class structure, and we'll tell you a little bit more about what you need to do to be successful in this class. So most of what we're going to do in this video is go over the syllabus just to make sure that we cover all pieces. So let's jump in and make sure again that you understand that you're in the SQL Database Design and Programming class for Spring 2020 second modmester. My name is Michael Waits. You can reach me at waits.michael@spcollege.edu. You can also get me through the My Courses message. Either way will get to me. And let me tell you a little bit about my phone number. I do have a phone number. It goes to an office somewhere in SPC. In fact, this is my shared office that I have. But I'll tell you, to be honest with you, to get to this phone number, to get to my voicemails, it's a big rigmarole. The best way to get a hold of me is via email. If we have to get on a conference call, great, we'll do that. But I'll tell you, always contact me first via email. That's about the easiest and best way to get a hold of me. If you do need to leave me a phone message, make sure you call me and leave a voicemail. And the voicemail is sent to my email, so that way at least I can get it that way. If you need to talk to me and get together with me in the office to go over some things, not a problem. You can always request an appointment. I will tell you that I have a job during the day, just like a lot of other people. And so typically my appointment hours are either going to be on weekends or in the evenings. I am a program manager. I manage a team of developers for a company here in St. Petersburg. And so because of that, like I said, I have typical kind of 9 to 5 hours in that class, so my appointments are usually outside of that. If you want to take a look a little bit about myself, my instructor webpage gives you a little brief overview of me. One of the things it doesn't really go over is that I'm really into Jeeping, and so it doesn't have any of my Jeep pictures on there. I think one day I probably should do like an instructor webpage that has more content about me and some of the things I do on the side, but I do love to Jeep, and so if I go Jeeping on the weekend sometimes, I will definitely make sure to put a news post up, because on those weekends I'm a little harder to get a hold of. My academic department, Dr. James Stewart's my dean, and Don Ellis is my academic chair. Please feel free to reach out to either one of those if there's anything you need to speak about that you don't feel comfortable coming to me. If you want to give me accolades, that's also great. I always appreciate that. But again, that information is there for you in case you need to reach out to those individuals. So I'm not going to go too much into the course goals and objectives. I'll leave that for you to read. I just wanted in this video really cover a few main topics that you really need to know going through this. Things that are vitally important to this class and will make you have a much easier class to go through. First, learner support. If you have any disabilities that you have documented that you want to have St. Petersburg College recognize, please get with the Accessibility Services team, and then they will get with me as well. And we can always work through that and make sure everyone has the equal opportunity to do the learner service. All right. Important dates, make sure you check course drop dates, withdrawal dates, financial aid dates, all here. Let's talk a little bit about attendance. Now for this class, normally we would get together every Monday, and I would take attendance the first 2 weeks and mark you either here or not here. However, with all that's going on right now, with the outbreak, we are definitely doing this class online for the time being. I don't know as this moment how long that will be, but definitely for the foreseeable future, we will be doing this online. To help with that, I will also do my lectures, but rather than in the class, I'll just do it here in my office, and I will record them, and then we'll get them posted up weekly, sometime around Monday, just as if we were having real class. But because we're moving more to an online method with this class, please fill out, and I actually, if we go up here in the news, I actually put it in here. Make sure you do the Module 1 discussion, introduce yourself. That is how I'm going to mark you absent, mark you here for the 2 weeks. So that way, that's how I'm doing attendance. If you don't do this, I will definitely reach out and try to remind you. But if you fail to do this in the first week, then you'll be marked absent for the both weeks, which will withdraw you from the class. So don't let that happen. Get in there and get that post done. All right, back to our syllabus. Clicking over there. And again, to get to the course syllabus, you can get right there on the very top link. And let's get where we were. All right. The other thing to know about attendance is about the 60% point of the class, and sometimes it's weird the way the classes are structured. Sometimes it happens around 50 to 60% of the class being done. I'm actually asked to give a participation attendance measure and look at everyone's and their participation. And if I have anyone that's not really participating, that really just isn't part of the class, then I'm going to mark them as absent during that period, which will also trigger a withdrawal. So again, what does that mean? It's pretty simple. Just be participating. There are discussion forums for you to respond to. There are assignments for you to turn in. If you're doing those things, you will be just fine. I get it. Sometimes people miss assignments. We really want to avoid that, but it does happen, and that wouldn't get you marked absent. If you are genuinely missing a bunch of stuff, if your grade is definitely below 60%, I will reach out to you and let you know that you're getting close to that point. But let's avoid that and just kind of keep up with the class. It's not a really tough class. In fact, I'll tell you, the second week is the toughest part of the class. Now, that's not just from my point of view. That's the feedback I've gotten from many students in this class, that the second week is really tough. And it's just based on some strong theory that you have to kind of get through about normalization. And what I would tell you is typically make sure for that second week you give plenty of time to listen to the lecture several times to make sure you really absorb what's going on when it comes to normalization, as well as really read the book, look at the examples, and give yourself plenty of time for the assignment, because you're going to really need it to get through that second week. I will tell you that is the toughest week. That's the week that most people tend to have on the low side of grades. All the other weeks are just fine. You'll find some a little harder than others, but nothing like the second week, just to prepare you. But most people don't really struggle with this course as long as they're doing the work. Okay, collaboration rule. So students may turn work in that they've gotten help here and there and pieces like that, but overall, the assignment must be done by you. Now, let me just take a moment, and we're going to jump down to talk a little bit about this academic honesty. The reason why I talk about that probably the most in this course is because I'm going to tell you all the solutions are out on the internet, fairly easy to find. Please don't use them. You're going to just get yourself in trouble. I'm going to know that you're using them, and here's how I'm going to know that you use them. They are fraught with wrong answers. There are wrong answers all over the place. In fact, some of the answers are so wrong, it's laughable, and that's what will give it away that you've been using the key. So please don't do that. In fact, in my education career here, I've only had to actually turn one person in for cheating, and I really felt bad. I didn't want to do it. I didn't like to do it, but it was so obvious, and it just had to happen. And it was in this course. So I'm just telling you, it's going to be those moments where you're tempted to go out there. It's so easy to get a hold of this key, but there's so many errors in it. You will get caught. So please don't do it. I know some of these homeworks will be a little bit challenging, but that's the point of this. I will tell you, no matter what career you're going into, the ability to query using SQL is a very valuable asset to have under your belt, and knowing what to do in those cases. The world's coming to be a big database. So again, even if this isn't your career, even if you're going to go on to something else that's not even a programming or database or anything like that, I promise you'll find that this is a great skill to have for yourself. All right. If you've taken this course before, please understand that, and maybe with Drew, that you definitely need to turn in new stuff. You need to turn in, when you're doing the discussion, it has to be new copy. And if you turn in something that you've previously turned in, believe it or not, it's still known as plagiarism. So please don't do that. Let's talk about some expectations from the students, right? We want to make sure that you guys are getting a great class here. You'll notice that the SQL book is a little on the older side. The reason partly is because it's actually a really good book, and SQL has not really changed a lot over the years. Yes, they have, as Microsoft SQL, they've come out with some new terms, and even Oracle has come out with some new terms. For the most part, the core language that we're going to be dealing with is the same, and this works great. So please make sure that you understand that our quizzes are quizzes are open notes and open book, but the quizzes do have a time limit. So looking up or having an expectation of looking up every answer, you're not going to get through the test in time, and you're going to find that you run out of time. And so make sure you understand the concepts before you go take the quiz. In this class, you have the ability to turn in assignments up to 2 days late. For each day it's late, I take 10% off. Things that aren't acceptable to be late are quizzes and discussions. I do not reopen quizzes, and I do not reopen discussions unless you have a documented emergency, or you've spoken to me well in the future about an assignment or a quiz or a discussion, and for some reason you really need to have that to where you can turn it in late. Again, it's going to need to be a good reason, and it has to happen before the assignment's due. Again, if you're not sure what an emergency is, SBC has plenty of documentation on that. Typical things is, you're in the hospital. Make sure you have it documented, turn that in. We will work to reset some of those quiz dates and the assignment dates. Otherwise, again, I really want to go through the idea that turning in late work is not, other than the grace period that I already give you for the assignments, just will not happen. Save your breath. Don't send that email in. And the reason why I'm pretty strict on this is because everyone has an expectation of getting their stuff done. And so it's not fair for me to allow you to have extra time when everyone else worked their butts off to get their stuff in. So again, please make sure you get your stuff in on time. One additional note, that last week's assignments, it's a quick week. We start basically on Monday and we're done on Thursday. And that's because I need to have Friday to turn in grades. Grades are due that last Friday, and I have to be able to grade all my any last papers. So there's no grace period for anything that last week, including I won't be able to give you the ability to turn in something late, even if you talk to me ahead of time. So just make sure that last week is a doozy one. It will move fast. So just like you guys have expectations, I have expectations as well. I will provide meaningful activities to develop your skills. I'm going to be here to answer your questions and concerns. I do my best to respond to your emails within 24 hours. I will tell you that I am just like everyone else, that on the weekend I'm either trying to have some fun or I'm working on the house because my wife has instructed me to do so. So if I'm going to be a little longer, the weekends tend to be that, which I know coincide with things that are being turned in. So make sure you get started on these items sooner than later, so that way if you have questions, I have plenty of time to respond to them. I will definitely evaluate your coursework in a timely manner. That typically means 1 to 2 days after the grace period. So remember, every assignment has a grace period, and so I need to wait until everyone gets their work in before I can really start to publish results. All right. So one of the things I always go over is, how much time do you need to spend on this course? Again, you'll get a great grade as long as you're giving yourself enough time to read the material, to listen to the videos, to work at the homework a little bit, to play with it. This is definitely a hands-on class. You're going to be using Oracle, and you're going to be getting in there, and you're going to be running most of the queries we're going to put together. So with that being said, you need to expect to put in anywhere between 9 to 12 hours a week on this course. Remember, this is an 8-week course, so it does go fast. We still cover 16 weeks worth of work in this 8-week period. So again, 9 to 12 hours. Otherwise, you will not be successful in the course. Towards the end of the course, I'm going to really strive to ask everyone to do the student survey of instruction. The way I always tell everyone is, I've been grading you all this time. Now it's time for you to grade me. I take these student surveys to heart. I really do take a lot of information away from them. It is my goal to be a great instructor, and to do that, I need to get the feedback. So please, when we get there, make sure you do the feedback. Take a moment to read the technology portions of this of the syllabus. I will tell you, when we jump into class, there's 2 ways that you can do all your classwork. You can download and install Oracle on your own and have it on your machine and running. You can also use Oracle in the cloud, which is known as Apex. And in fact, most of my instruction will show through the use of Apex. Now, if you download and install Oracle on your machine, you will be able to do about 95% of the queries that we're going to do. You'll have elevated permissions to do certain things. When it comes to Apex, you'll be able to do most of the queries. Towards the end of the course, there's a few exceptions, and I will notate what those exceptions are. And unfortunately, the best you'll be able to do is just show me what the query should look like, but you won't have the actual privileges in Oracle's in the cloud to run them. That's okay. It doesn't really hold us back. In fact, I will be showing you many of those queries and what they look like. But it's only a handful. It really isn't a big deal. If I were to give you advice, running Oracle in the cloud is your best bet. It's just an easy way to go. I mean, if you really want to get in there and figure out how to install Oracle, by all means, there's plenty of instructions here in the site, as well as out there on the internet. And if you're really determined to do that, go for it. It's a great thing to do. But if you are kind of that student that wants to get in here and just start writing queries, I really recommend Apex. Also, you don't have to have as strong of a machine to run Apex in the cloud, because the server is being hosted for you. You're not the server. Your computer is not the server. So for those that have laptops that are probably a little older, maybe not a lot of memory in them, I would definitely recommend Apex in the cloud for you, so that way you don't run into those issues. So that's pretty much the syllabus, and it's also pretty much what we need to talk about. Again, make sure you read the syllabus. It'll go a little into the grading piece for you. But that's pretty much it. Once you have done and read the syllabus, you're going to find that there's a syllabus quiz. You need to take this quiz before the modules will show up. And you'll need to get 100% on this quiz before the module will show up. Once you've done that, the module will show up and you're off and you're ready to go. While I have deadlines for things, you're more than welcome to work ahead. I will tell you that I will only be doing the recordings probably roughly once a week. So if you do work ahead, you'll have to do a lot of your study from the actual book, which is great. In fact, there is an online version of this class that I don't necessarily give these lectures. And so if you want to go that route and you're good at that, you definitely can do that. Otherwise, hang out with me and every week we'll go through a new lecture, and I'll show you some of the homework problems and give you some good examples on how to work through the homework assignments. And so we'll be doing that. And again, I'll be getting those posted roughly around Mondays of each week. All right, well, that is my introduction. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email. Otherwise, I'll be looking to see you in the next video.